See, we will start with our next session. I think this is the last session of geometry. Uh, in this session, I will discuss all the proofs which are important from exam point of view. See the first one. We have to prove that sine square theta upon cos of theta plus cos of theta is equal to sec theta. Now, in the earlier session, I have written all the formulae here. Now I am not writing anything, I'll just discuss while solving the sum. You please pay attention properly. These sums are to be solved like this. I am writing this part as LHS, which is sine square theta upon cos of theta plus cos of theta. Now what happens here? There are two fractions which are to be added. Now both the fractions should have this particular format. It is upon 1. Now we'll straight away cross multiply like what we do in algebra. 1 multiplied by this number, so it is going to be sine square theta. Plus, when you multiply this, the answer is going to be cos square theta. Upon the product of these two, that is going to be cos of theta. Is it clear to you? Now we'll go for the identity. Now the first identity says that sine square theta plus cos square theta, that is going to be always 1. And then upon cos of theta. And you know that 1 upon cos theta and sec theta, they are reciprocals of each other. So we can write 1 upon cos theta is going to be sec theta. And that is what we require to be there on the right side, that is RHS. I hope you must have understood this properly. Now there is one more question, I will do it. These questions, they definitely ask you for 2 marks. Remember one thing here, even if I have not shown anything, you have to write the formula in front of this. Sine square theta plus cos square theta. That answer you have written 1. So write the formula in front of this step, but write the formula in terms of other symbol. Now we are handling theta here. So write the formula like sine square a plus cos square a is equal to 1. Instead of theta, you assume something different like alpha, beta or a, b, something like that. Now let us go for the next question. This is cos square theta into bracket 1 plus tan square theta. This is what we have to prove as 1. That means whatever you are going to write on the left hand side and simplify, that will be entirely eliminated to get the answer 1. Now we'll write LHS the way we have written in the earlier sum. That is cos square theta. Then it is 1 plus tan square theta. Now the answer is going to be cos square theta. And you know the identity here. So in place of that bracket, 1 plus tan square is equal to sec square. 1 plus tan square theta is going to be sec square theta. And you are bound to get this part as cos square theta. Multiplied this by. Now what we have done here, 1 upon cos theta, we have written as sec theta. So sec theta can be written as 1 upon cos of theta, but sec square theta can be written as 1 upon cos square theta. And definitely this part is a numerator denominator format, so they will get cancelled. And the answer of this is going to be 1, that is equal to RHS. Remember one thing, these kind of questions, most probably they ask you, one question will be definitely asked, but the content, whatever you are having there, you have to write the formula also. These questions you may expect for 2 marks each. Is it clear to you? We will cover up whatever is important from this category. I hope these questions are clear to you. Let us go for the next question. We'll take the third sum now. LHS of that is square root of, it is 1 minus sine of theta upon 1 plus sine of theta, which can be further written as. Now, there are 2-3 questions like that in the textbook, which there is some hint which I am giving you. Now, there is a fraction available here. And on the right side, we don't want this square root sign. So, definitely that square root sign needs to be removed by some mathematical application. And we want upon 1 here. See this, something is mentioned in the numerator only, and if nothing is mentioned, then sec theta minus tan theta upon, we have to consider it as 1. So if you want 1 on the right side, then rationalize the denominator on the left. That means what you have to do? It is 1 minus sine of theta upon, this is 1 plus sine of theta. What I told you, if you want 1 on the right side in the denominator, then multiply this by its conjugate. That is, rationalize the denominator here. That is, multiply this by 1 minus sine of theta. Now we cannot multiply only denominator, we have to multiply the numerator also. So I am writing 1 minus sine of theta. So what I have done, I have multiplied the numerator denominator by 1 minus sine of theta. And now what we are going to have? We can have this as 1 minus sine of theta, 1 minus sine of theta. This is coming twice, so don't expand it. You just write 1 minus sine theta, the bracket raised to 2, because ultimately you have to take a square root. So we have done it upon. This is a formula in algebra, a plus b and a minus b. The answer is a square, means 1 square, that is 1, minus b square, means you are going to write this as sine square theta. Now still the square root sign will remain as it is. This is 1 minus sine of theta bracket square, and you know the identity related with this. It is sine square a plus cos square a is equal to 1, and therefore cos square a is equal to 1 minus sine square a. Correct? So 1 minus sine square a is coming here. So answer of that is ultimately cos square a. Here we have to write theta. That is what I told you. Whenever you are writing the formula, suppose the question is in terms of theta, then write the formula in terms of a. Use some different symbol for the angle. Now you realize that both are perfect squares inside the square root sign. So when you take the square root, this is going to become 1 minus sine of theta, whole thing divided by cos square theta. The answer is cos theta here. Now what you have to do? We have to modify this. This is not the thing what we want on the right side. So remember one more logic we have to remember actually for many sums in trigonometry. When you split up something, when you have single term in the denominator, then we can separate this. If it would have been otherwise, cos theta upon 1 minus sin theta, then you cannot separate. But now we can separate it. It is 1 upon cos of theta minus, this is going to be sin theta upon cos of theta, and definitely you will end up with this as 1 minus sine of theta, whole thing divided by, 1 minus 1 upon cos of theta, you know it is a reciprocal of sec, so it is sec theta, minus, there is a formula for sine upon cos, that is going to be tan of theta. That is what we want on the right side. So we can write that is equal to RHS. Remember one more logic here. That is what we have completed in this particular proof. If you want 1 on the right side in this kind of sums having some square root, then you rationalize the denominator. Suppose this would have been something different as 1 upon something, then we would have rationalized the numerator. That means we would have multiplied this numerator by 1 plus sign. So there is a basic rule. This question is not a contained which is for 2 marks. If this question comes, then it will be definitely for 3 marks. Remember one thing, you don't give an examiner a chance to deduct the mark. So even if you are very thorough with this formulae, please write down some response here, some reasoning here, that why we are writing 1 minus sine square, why we are writing it as cos square, because it is based on the identity. This is 1 upon cos theta, you have written as sec theta. So here in front of this, we can write 1 upon cos of A as sec of A, this is a formula, and sine A upon cos of A, that is equal to tan of A, and that is what we have used. Because the question is given in terms of theta, therefore the formulae are to be written in terms of other than theta. I have selected A for reference. So this is the way we have to complete. If you write this much, then you will get full marks. In fact, we need to practice more sums on this, because this is not a time consuming task. Suppose you are writing some proof in geometry, something from similarity or circle. Then you have to draw the figure, then you have to write given, to find, then statement reason format. So it takes a lot of time. So now whenever you are focusing on time management for the paper, then you have to select the sum which is giving you full marks and which takes less possible time. And this is the sum which is one of them. So always try to adopt this method when you complete your entire revision. See, suppose there are 25 questions in the paper, and if you know all 25, it's not that you should solve all 25 in the paper, because then the paper will get over cut to cut. Suppose the paper means your geometry paper is of 2 hours, so you need to complete it. Now those who are practicing in a full-fledged method, they are knowing everything, and they are just about to get the question paper. Once they get the question paper, they start writing it with full speed. So if your revision is proper, if you are 100% confident about the paper, then you could complete geometry paper within 1.5 hours, even less than that. So selection matters a lot, and this is one of the favorite sum according to me if you want to save the time. Is it clear? Let us go for the next question now. Let us have one more sum which is of the similar type. Now if you observe it, here there is no radical sign, but we observe 1 upon something here, that is sec theta minus tan theta, and on the other side whatever you require, you are having upon 1 here. So same explanation again. If you want 1 there on the other side, then what we do is, we write LHS as it is, that is 1 upon sec theta minus tan of theta, and further it is 1 upon, this one can be written as sec theta minus tan of theta and sec theta plus tan of theta. This is what I told you, that you have to rationalize or multiply the denominator by conjugate. Now this is what is happening. Now what happens here? The numerator is going to be multiplied by 1. So it is going to remain sec theta plus tan of theta only. And a plus b and a minus b, the answer is a square minus b square. That means it is sec square theta minus tan square theta. Now you know the identity here. I am writing that part here, 1 plus tan square. Now as your sum is in terms of theta, we are going to handle some other letter. I am writing as a now. So you know that 1 plus tan square a is equal to sec square a, that is an identity, and therefore 1 is equal to, we have to write sec square a minus tan square a. So this answer we have to utilize here now. This is going to be what? Sec theta plus tan of theta. Whole thing divided by sec square theta minus tan square theta is going to be 1. So the answer is sec theta plus tan of theta. I think that is what we require as your RHS. I hope this is very clear to you. Let us go for the next question now. Let us have one more sum. LHS of that is going to be sin raised to 4 theta minus cos raised to 4 theta. Now this is sin cos related sum. So I am writing one identity here. Sin square A plus cos square A is equal to 1. So identities, whatever we are using, they are related with the square terms. And what we have here is sin square theta bracket square minus cos square theta bracket square. Now when you are dealing with that a square minus b square format, then the answer is sin square theta plus cos square theta. Here I write sin square theta minus cos square theta for the reason, that is what I am writing here, a square minus b square is nothing but a plus b and a minus b. Now see the modification of this. Sin square theta plus cos square theta is going to be 1 from this identity. That's why I am writing 1 here. Multiplied this by, I will write sin square theta minus cos square theta, which we will not write anything as it is. Now multiplying this bracket by 1, the answer is definitely going to be sin square theta minus cos square theta. And now what happens here? Sin square theta minus cos square theta. Now sin square is going to be here. We want only cos square to remain in the sum. And that's why sin square we have to write. Therefore, sin square A is equal to 1 minus cos square A or not. So we are writing 1 minus cos square theta minus cos square theta. Now we have to write this is 1 minus, this is going to be 2 cos square theta. This is what we want on the right side. See, the questions are very simple. You need to apply a combination of formulae. It is not only related with trigonometry. Some applications, some simplification based on this formulae, which is equal to the RHS which is required to you. Is that clear to you? These questions are all important from exam point of view. Better you should know the entire thing. Suppose out of that 2-3 questions are coming directly from the textbook, you will be in a position to score full marks in this. Let us go for the next question. Let us go for this sum. This is very important probable question for 4 marks in your paper. I am using some altogether different method. There are so many different applications, or you can say different methods they have shown in so many reference books. We will try to adopt identities specifically. Cot A upon 1 plus cot square A bracket square. Now first of all what we do is we apply the basic formula for 1 plus tan square theta. This is tan of A upon. Now I am writing a formula for this. 1 plus tan square theta is going to be sec square theta plus this is cot of A. Now I will apply the formula for cot square. 1 plus cot square is cosec square bracket square So I am just reducing that format one by one. Now what I want, this will be tan of A upon square ka square. So it is going to be sec raised to 4A plus this is going to be cot of A. So I am writing cot of A here, but I am writing this as cosec raised to 4A square ka square. Now when I realize that what we want on the other side in terms of sine and cos only. So let us convert this. I am writing this formula as a sine of A upon cos of A. And here it is 1 upon cos square. So it is going to come cos raised to 4. See this, tan A is nothing but sine upon cos. And sec raised to 4A, that is going to be 1 upon cos raised to 4A. Then plus, what is the next one? This is cos of A upon sine of A. And this is going to become 1 upon. This is going to become sine raised to 4A. Now I will convert this, which can be written further. What it is? This is written as sine of A upon cos of A. Multiply this by cos raised to 4A upon 1. Then plus this is cos of A upon sine of A. Multiply this by sine raised to 4A upon 1. See, this is a way we normally simplify. Now what will happen here? There is one cancellation of cos. Therefore, the next part what will remain is sine of A and cos cube A plus. Similar thing happens here also. There is a cancellation of one sine and you are going to get cos of A multiplied by, or just simply put dot, it is sine cube A or not. Now what happens here? When you multiply, you are going to get this complicated structure will become easier like this. And now I am putting it here on this side. Just see this part. What will happen here? We can take sine A and cos A common. Sine A I am taking common here. Then I will write cos of A into bracket. What will happen here? Sine A cos A we are taking common, and what will happen here? Cos and then sine. So it is going to be cos square A plus sine square A. Is it correct? Now what happens after that? It's very easy part now. You know the identity. Sine square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. So sine A cos A into 1. So therefore, the answer what you are going to have is sine A cos A, that is equal to your RHS, what is required. This is the easiest method which I have given you for this particular sum. You please expect this question for 4 marks in the exam. Is it right? Let us go for the next one now. Let us go for one more simple sum. They have given the value of tan of A plus 1 upon tan of A as 2, and they have asked you the value of this expression. Now these questions are anyhow connected by using some algebraic method only. Now I have given you this. This is a part which I rewrite again. Tan A plus 1 upon tan of A is equal to 2. So what I will do, this is what they have given. Now I will take a square because we want tan square and 1 upon tan square. So squaring both sides. Now when you take the squares of both sides, it is becoming tan of A plus 1 upon tan of A bracket raised to 2, that is equal to 2 square. Correct? So what we have to do? A plus b bracket square is nothing but a square plus 2ab plus b square is equal to 4. Remember this logic. A plus b the whole square, I am writing a formula like this, a square, but don't write a, it is a square, just write bracket, plus 2ab plus b square. So this is going to be tan of a. This is going to be again tan of a. This is 1 upon tan of a. And this is 1 upon tan of a. Now this tan a will get cancelled. Now what will happen? Tan of a bracket square, that means it is tan square a plus 2 plus this is a fraction, but square of that gives you 1 square, that is 1, and this is going to be tan square a, that is equal to 4 or not. And it's very simple logic now. You have to transfer that 2 on the other side. Therefore, the answer is tan square a plus it is 1 upon tan square a, that is equal to 4 minus 2. And therefore, the answer that we are going to get here is tan square a plus 1 upon tan square a is equal to 2. This is the answer what we expect. That is to be highlighted. I think this is also one of the basic question in trigonometry chapter. So better you cover up all these questions before you give any paper of geometry. Basically, what I mean to say, you have 2 or 3 maximum questions on trigonometry in your paper. And in the textbook, you are having 30 odd questions in your textbook. So better, as a genuine student, you should complete the entire revision. You should know, basically you should have solved entire, whatever is important from the board point of view, you should have solved it once. Now these kind of questions which we are doing in last sessions, now these are all revision sessions, whatever we are doing it, you practice or you focus more. If you are not in a position to solve this sum directly without a reference, you solve this 2-3 times. These are very easy steps to remember. By the time of exam, you will definitely register all these things properly in the mind. So you can select these questions on a priority and you can solve it easily. Now we'll go for the last question of this geometry session. See, this is altogether different sum. You expect this question for 3 marks. Before going for the actual solution of this, what I do, I'll explain you some property what you have studied last year in algebra. In majority of the schools, this part is omitted, or this part normally you skip. But in similarity, in circle, in trigonometry, this particular part of ratio proportion is required. Now I am writing one part here, 3 upon 10. Now the next part I am writing it as 6 upon 20. Now what we say here, 3 upon 10, if I multiply 3 by 2, then we'll get 6. 10 multiplied by 2 is 20. That means the ratios are equal. Now suppose I do one more thing. If I write here, now if I add these two, that means it is 3 plus 6. And this is going to be 10 plus 20. So your answer is 9 upon 30. And when you reduce it, 3 3s are 9 and 3 10s are. So ultimately you are going to get 3 upon 10. So if you are having two equal ratios, then whatever ratio you get by adding the numerators, by adding the denominators, that ratio is same as the earlier one. Now this is not only required for addition. If you subtract it, then what will happen here? 3 minus 6, that is minus 3, and 10 minus 20, that is minus 10. If I reduce this, then you are going to get the answer 3 by 10. So this is what we call it as theorem on equal ratios. What is that? If I write, if A upon B is equal to C upon D, then these ratios A upon B is equal to C upon D is equal to, it is, these two ratios are equal to the new ratio which is formed by addition, that is A plus C and B plus D. That can be formed by subtraction also. If I do it, A minus C and B minus D, whatever ratio you are going to get, that ratio will be same as the earlier one. That is what we call it as, I am writing here, this is called as theorem on equal ratios. Theorem on equal ratios. Actually, this is the part which we have to solve it by that particular method. Is it clear? Now this is the basic of this particular sum. That's why I have explained you. In the exam you are not going to write anything out of this. So now let us see how the sum can be solved. Now see what we have to do here. This tan theta, sec theta, they are related with identity number 2, which is 1 plus tan square theta is equal to sec square theta. Now see how we are going to modify this. Now the first thing what we want is tan theta, therefore I am writing tan square theta is equal to sec square theta minus 1. So now we are going to have this as tan theta multiplied by tan of theta, that is equal to, what should be written here? Sec theta plus 1 and sec theta minus 1. Are you getting it? Now first ratio we have to create. Now that is possible when you transfer this tan theta minus sec theta on the left and this tan theta on the right. So what will happen here? Tan of theta upon this portion will come in the denominator because that is what we want. That is equal to, what will come here? Sec theta plus 1 upon tan of theta. Now these are the basic ratios. Out of that, one ratio we want. That is nothing but this. So anyhow, we have to have some connect of the question. Now this is what we don't want. We want this. And that is created. See this. If you add these numerators, then you are bound to get this or not. And therefore, we have to check it. 100% whatever operation you do it in the numerator, that will work to get the required denominator. So here we have to simply write it like this by using theorem on equal, by using theorem on equal ratios. We have to write the first ratio tan theta upon sec theta minus 1 as it is. Then we have to write the second ratio as it is, that is sec theta plus 1 upon tan of theta. And the third one, that is by theorem on equal ratios. Now third ratio can be formed by using addition or subtraction of the two numerators and two denominators. So what we want is probable. Tan theta plus sec theta plus 1 will get it by adding this. So we have to write tan of theta plus sec theta plus 1. And here we have to write sec theta minus 1 plus tan of theta. Are you getting it? This is what we have done it. But for reference, what we have to write here? We have to write a reason. If A upon B is equal to C upon D, then what you will write? A upon B is equal to C upon D, that is equal to what? A plus C upon B plus D. But finally you are not going to write all three ratios. We write whatever we require finally to prove, and that's why we keep the first ratio, because that is what we want to prove. Sec theta minus 1, that is equal to, skip this, directly write this part. But can you write it like this? If you open the bracket, then it is going to be tan of theta plus sec of theta plus 1. And now when you write this, sec theta minus 1 plus tan of theta, we can write these trigonometric functions together. That is sec theta plus tan of theta, and then this minus 1 I can write here. This is what we get it. Many students by mistake start writing LHS is equal to that, and that becomes very troublesome task. Remember, there are 3 to 4 questions like that which are based on theorem on equal ratios. We have to solve it in the same way. Now this is what we have to highlight. This is the proof. There are certain things which we never do it by writing LHS and RHS. These questions are based on theorem on equal ratios. This is also expected for 3 marks. See, we have not completed the entire thing in the textbook during the revision session. That's what we call it as last minute revision. Now we assume that the basic thing which we have already covered, now we have to just see to it that whatever we have discussed in the last 10 sessions of algebra and last 10 sessions of geometry, these are all the important things which you have to focus now in the last minute, so that in the exam you should be in a position to attempt these questions with 100% confidence. See, if this particular sum you find difficult and if you skip that and the same sum comes in the exam, where suppose you are doing it, so at least you will come to know, yes, this sum we have done in the class and this is what we have done at that time. So at least we can work out. Now when you start doing those sums, automatically you can recall all the steps. It's a memory game finally. Practice properly all these sums, and I am sure that you will get your expected marks, and I know your expectation is 40 on 40. Our target should be scoring full marks in maths. So these things we have to keep in mind. All the best to all of you, so that you can score your expected marks in the board paper. We will be solving some papers also after these sessions, and these papers, whatever questions we cover, ultimately we don't know what exactly going to come in the paper, but this is all what we can say probables. We expect, yes, these sums will come. Positively you have to work, we have to see all these attempts. This is our simple attempt to make you study on or make you focus on these particular sums, so that you cannot miss out anything. You can attempt all questions in the textbook, all questions in your paper, so that probability of getting full marks becomes 100%. All the best.